Shut it down. Screw the mom and pop shop on the corner. Screw the pizza place owner. Screw the landscaper who doesn't have a job because nobody will let him near the house. Screw them. They'll be fine. It's the snowflakes on the college campuses we got to worry about. Look at this AP story here. Fact-checking what is a transparently obvious statement about President Trump. AP fact-check. Trump claims rising suicides if U.S. stays shut. I'll put up the piece here from AP in a second, but so the press is now fact-checking Trump's statement that mental health will decline and there'll be a possible increase in suicides if we have a mass depression. That requires a fact check? Are we going to fact check if Trump says 2 + 2 = 4 next to? Now, in the piece, they actually double down on stupid. This isn't, these are claiming to be serious people, Joe. Remember, you and I are the dopes. These are the smarty pants people here. Look at the AP story. President Trump made a baseless claim of surging suicides if the U.S. economy remains mostly shut due to the spread of the coronavirus. This is AP. There's no evidence that suicides will rise dramatically, let alone surpass potential coronavirus deaths. Historically, in a crisis, suicides tend to diminish as society pulls together in a common purpose. I'm not kidding. This took on my iPhone right here. This took all of, I actually counted to be sure I wasn't crazy. It took 7 seconds and would have been faster if my internet was quicker. 7 seconds to determine the stupidity of that statement that, Joe, suicides actually go down in a crisis.
What?
Now, listen, I never tout my educational credentials because it's stupid. Hey, look at me. I went to graduate school. I'm so smart. You're all stupid. I hate that. I hate it. Nobody cares about your education. But I mean, I did spend 2 years getting a graduate degree in neuropsychology. I have a tiny little bit of experience here. I've literally never heard that ever. That yes, if you happen to be suicidal and you're prone to suicide, which people are, that a crisis is great. It goes down. People love that. I have never heard that by any sane person anywhere. This is AP. That's a real story. That's an actual story, Joe. If you're suicidal, don't you worry. A crisis is exactly what you need. 7 seconds it took for me. I had to Google it because I don't even need to go back to studies to tell you the obvious. The first story that came up was this, and I picked this story, by the way, 7 seconds. 7. Or Joe Biden, 7. Joe Biden doesn't know 6 from 7. I had to pick a left-leaning outlet like The Atlantic. This is not a conservative outlet because, if it's a fact on a conservative page, the left thinks it doesn't matter. But I picked a left-leaning outlet, The Atlantic, and I wanted to show you this article. This came up in, again, 7 seconds. Suicide in the Economy by Elizabeth McBride. It's about this woman whose grandfather killed himself during the Great Depression. Apparently 40,000 others did too. It's not funny, folks. This isn't some kind of a joke. No. The joke is the media idiots who are downplaying the massive repercussions from this is from the piece, from what's going to happen if the economy shut down. No, Trump's an idiot. They're not going to be suicides. People are going to be just peachy. I guess her grandfather's name was Roy. He was one of at least 40,000 Americans who took their own lives that year and the 2-year span. That suicide rates spiked to its highest recorded level ever. More than 150 per 1 million people annually. This isn't a joke. This isn't funny stuff. Making fun of the media is always funny because they're useless, feckless losers. 20-year-old journalism major idiots without an ounce of experience in the real world. They're not carpenters. They're not electricians. They've never bent a pipe. They've never cleaned the drain. If their biggest emergency is when they take a dump and they can't clean out their toilet bowl and they got to call a plumber and he's not available. What do I do, mommy? What do I do? I had too much Chipotle last night. You're useless, feckless idiots, all of you. In a crisis, suicides don't spike? Are you really this stupid? Now, before the show, I was inside putting on this ugly face I have. I got to put some mattifier on because I shine like crazy because of my very oily Italian skin. And I thought to myself, Joe, wait, let me get this straight. The same 21-year-old journalism idiots who work at AP and have never had a real job in their life, who have told us, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, Paula, you too, jump in here anytime. The same liberal lunatics working in the media who've told us that college campuses, man, you can't have Charles Murray on a college campus. God forbid Ben Shapiro. This is a microaggression that'll cause massive psychological trauma to the snowflakes. They need a safe room, crayons, coloring books, Snuggies, and paint by numbers because they're so delicate and sensitive. They'll be traumatized by life. God forbid Ben Shapiro opens his mouth on a college campus. These same we're on terrestrial radio now. These same, I can't hold back, who told us the college snowflakes are so delicate that if Charles Murray or Ben Shapiro, a conservative, even appears on campus, they're going to lose their minds and there's going to be a mental break Matrix style. The same people telling us that are now telling us if we cause the next Great Depression by shutting down the economy, don't you worry. Suicidal people are going to be A-OK. Chew on that cud for a minute. Do you understand that liberalism is a wart on the ass of humankind? That it is populated by the dumbest people on the planet. And their views, which are so dumb, their views don't even make sense. Depending on the day, they'll change their story. Microaggressions, trigger warning, Ben Shapiro's on campus. Everybody get your color forms out. I just dated myself. Everyone, this is going to be traumatizing. The same idiots who were telling you that, populating liberal journalism outlets, are now telling you that mass unemployment, bankruptcy, and everything is going to be great for you. Don't you worry. Shut it down. Screw the mom and pop shop on the corner. Screw the pizza place owner. Screw the landscaper who doesn't have a job because nobody will let him near the house. Screw them. They'll be fine. It's the snowflakes on the college campuses we got to worry about. They're going to be safe spaces? Are the media setting up safe spaces for the potentially 20, 30 million Americans who are unemployed? You dumb... I'm not kidding. Sometimes I love terrestrial, but there are times.
Hey, careful, boss.
I know. Because
I'm
he
with
used
you.
to do this for a living. Poor Joe had to get the buzzer ready in his old line of work.
And I got.
But are we going to do that? Is that what's coming, or are they preparing these AP losers, the morons who wrote this piece? Are they preparing for what, 10 million or so safe rooms, safe spaces, whatever you call your stupid stuff? Are there trigger warnings going to be everywhere? What are they doing? Is there going to be a mass Malamar eating session? What are we doing next? Are we doing Oreos and Milkies? Or what are we doing? What are we doing for the people out of work that don't worry, Joe, everybody just bands together in a crisis? Are you this stupid? You morons.
Yeah.
Bands together in a crisis? What do you think this is? Some kind of kumbaya movie you just saw last week? Oh, this is great. Cinderella Man. Everything ends well in the end. Sometimes it doesn't. You dumb morons. Sometimes people die. And sometimes people get hurt. And sometimes people who are depressed, who lose their jobs, tragically take their own lives. You infantile idiots. Get out of your DC, New York bubble. Get off the Amtrak you take, the Acela back and forth, and go to the real world where real people with real dirt under their real fingernails that really bleed when they work really hard are suffering because of you idiots and your nonstop hysteria. You colossal losers.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud and follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.